Our video today is going to feature a product from Century Components. They're out of Ohio, and everything they make is made here in the United States. We're featuring what they call a Signature Series X bracket. It's designed for interior rollouts. You might use them in a tall pantry in the kitchen. That would be ideal. Base cabinets, you can use them in the bathroom. A lot of applications for this interior rollout that's adjustable. Maybe you have soup cans on one and cereal boxes on another or whatever, but the adjustability is nice. I do have rollouts in my kitchen, but they're not adjustable, and I wish they were. Now, here's something that this Signature Series features. A solid maple pilaster. That's what you see right here. This is a solid maple pilaster. They're pre-drilled so that you can put them in your cabinet. And they come in three widths. There's a 1 inch, inch and a quarter, and 2.5. I've got the 2.5 inch here. You can trim the pilaster, this maple part, down to 5/8 of an inch or 16 millimeters. You can't go any smaller than that with this pilaster when you're doing your cabinet, because the bracket, the metal mounting bracket that's used with it, is going to use up 16 millimeters. So don't go less than 5/8 of an inch. That's cutting her pretty tight. But those brackets are handed, a left and a right hand, and there's also a front and a back for your drawer slides. And then they attach, as you'll see in the video. Now, primarily, these would be used with undermount slides, but they can be used on side mount slides as well. And they can be used with undermount slides from a variety of different manufacturers. I'm going to show them with 3 manufacturers. Now, another thing you can see here is the support clip. That's this thing right here. This would be if you don't have a side panel to attach your pilaster to. And then you can mount up at the top and down at the bottom and attach your pilaster to that. Now, also a last thought before we get rolling. This is a video to demonstrate how to install the brackets and a few of the things that you may encounter. The application that I'm showing will accommodate overlay or inset doors on the cabinet. It can be used on face frame and frameless cabinets. So let's get started. A first step in the video is calculating hinge protrusion. How far does the hinge stick into the cabinet? Because we want to have a pilaster. We have to have a pilaster like this one that's thick enough so that when we attach the drawer runner, the drawer will not hit the hinge. So here's measuring for the thickness or the protrusion of the hinge. Let's just do that. We'll set the pilaster up there and get a measurement. So we're looking at hinge protrusion of 7/8 of an inch, 22 millimeters. So my pilaster has to be at least 7/8 of an inch thick to make it work. I'm going to use a pilaster that's 1 inch thick, this one right here. And then I'll have all the clearance I need so the cabinet, the drawer, the interior rollout won't hit the hinge. Now let's look at hinge protrusion on a face frame cabinet. I put this little block of wood here so we can see how far the hinge protrudes out from the face frame. And we have to measure behind the face frame up against the case of the cabinet to get our hinge protrusion. So let's take a look at that. What have we got for hinge protrusion? From the inside case of the cabinet to the tallest part of the hinge there, we're at 1.5 inches. So our pilaster then, in order to get the drawer to clear the hinge, is going to have to be a minimum of 1.5 inches. And of course, it's always wise to leave a little extra. I always give an extra 1/8 of an inch. Well, that's determining the protrusion of the hinge so you can get the right pilaster, and I'm using 1 inch. It's a stock product. Now, I don't have hinges on both sides. If it was a wider cabinet, I might. So I can use the thinnest possible pilaster here. I could even rip one down to 5/8 of an inch, but I'm not going to do it to save 3/8 of an inch. So I'll use 1 inch on both sides. The next step now is, where do I locate it? How far from the front edge of the cabinet do I place the pilaster? Well, according to the diagram that you see here, it's 95 millimeters from the front edge. It doesn't matter if it's a face frame or a frameless. 95 millimeters for the application we're doing. From the front edge to the leading edge of the pilaster. Let's take a look at that. For pilaster setback of 95 millimeters, Centric Components has a jig that they made specifically for that, but I don't have it yet. So I cobbled up my own here. This will work just fine. We need 95 millimeters, as you see right here, for a setback, and then I put a little piece on the front so I can just hold it in here like this to achieve my setback. So take a look how I put this in. I'm using a 1 inch pilaster for this application, and my little home jig here with a 95 millimeter setback, and I'll put my pilaster in and run the screw in. And there's my 95 millimeter setback on my 1 inch thick pilaster. And we have to do the same thing on both sides. We take the other pilaster, flip the jig over, and do the other side. And that's the frameless cabinet setback. Well, now, as you can see, I've added a face frame. So things are going to change a little bit. I still will need 95 millimeters from the front edge of the cabinet to locate the pilaster for this application. So I've made a piece so that the sum total of the two, the face frame and the jig, add up to 95 millimeters with the face frame. Then I put my pilaster in. So this is the face frame application, still setting it back 95 millimeters. And here again, we have to take our jig and put it on the other side so that we can put the pilaster over there for the face frame application. So there you see it, the pilaster with the face frame and a setback from the front edge to the leading edge of the pilaster, 95 millimeters. And here is the application with a frameless cabinet and a 95 millimeter setback from the front edge. And for the rest of the video now, we'll be working specifically with the frameless version of the cabinet. So that was locating the front pilasters. Next step, the pilasters in the back. Well, now we've reached the point in our video where we're going to install the pilaster at the rear of the cabinet. Now, as you know, I use this for the front setback, the 95 millimeter setback, and the manufacturer is telling me that the distance between the two pilasters for a 21 inch undermount runner needs to be 429 millimeters, or 16 and 29/32 inches. That's the distance from the between the two pilasters. Well, so I cut the jig to 429 millimeters, or 16 and 29/32, and I'm going to put that right here. And that's my distance from the front to the back. And I'm going to install this pilaster back there. So I got to adjust the camera so you can get a good look at that, what I'm doing. So here we go. I've got my jig in the proper location here so that I have the 429 millimeters that I need. And then I'll put my 1-inch pilaster right there. There, that's my 429 millimeter spacing inside the cabinet. Well, as you can see, I got all the pilasters in, but I got that one in backwards. Well, not a big problem because the pilasters are symmetrical the way they're manufactured. So I can flip it upside down and turn it so the holes are to the front. Oh, well, anyway, now we got to go to the part where we put the little metal brackets on the drawer slides. We're going to do that next. These are our metal mounting brackets for the right side drawer runner. Now the one on the top, it's the front bracket, and it has a short pin for inserting in the front pilaster. And it also has a locking tab you can see on the lower right corner there. And that prevents the runner from shifting back and forth and maybe even falling off the pilaster. So it's locked in. The image on the bottom, that's the rear pilaster bracket. And it doesn't have the locking tab, but the pin is quite a bit longer. And so you insert the rear tab first, the bracket with the pin into the rear pilaster first, and then insert the front one. So let's take a look at, I'm going to attach the pilasters to the drawer runner right now. In this clip, I'm installing the front bracket on the left runner. They're kind of easy to install. Here I'm taking a little extra time so you can see what I'm doing. Now in the next clip here, you're looking at me put the rear bracket on the left runner. And so that's all we have to do. Now, I'm done with this, the installing of the brackets on the drawer runner. This is a bloom runner. I'm going to put it in the cabinet, and then I'm also going to attach the brackets to a Salici runner and to a headache runner. Well, so here we are. The pilasters are installed. I got the brackets mounted onto a bloom tandem on a Salici and on a headache. And we're going to put them in here. Let me just grab them. This is the bloom. And we're going to put him right here on the top. I have to put the back bracket in first. It has the longer tab. So I'll put it on the second one down and then drop it in. Now I'll put the one on the right side, the second one down. That's the bloom. Now we're going to do Salici. Same story. Brackets are here, they're on. And we're going to go to right there with the rear bracket and drop it in. And right there, the Salici is in. And down here is the headache. There. They're all in. Well, there it is. Century Components signature X-bracket adjustable interior rollouts. Wasn't that hard to do. And this is really good. The adjustability here and how easy it is to put these in. Watching that back bracket and then it drops in and locks. It's not going anywhere. So we got all of our adjustability correct. We got the proper setback at 40 millimeters on all three of them. It's good. But guess what? We haven't got any drawers. So that's the next video. I'm going to wrap this one up, do some finishing touches on it, and tomorrow I'm going to start the video how to build the boxes for these rollout units. So if you liked it, give us the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Subscribe. I hope you liked the video.